Hi, I'm Ryan Wright.
And I'm Jerry.
Welcome to Reasons to See.
Where we give you reasons to see.
And not to see.
The Call.
So let's hang out. When veteran 911 operator Jordan Turner receives a phone call that a little girl has just been abducted, she soon realizes that she has to confront a killer from her past in order to save the girl's life. Ryan's consensus. I think there are a lot of reasons to see The Call. There are a lot of reasons to see The Call. Yeah, this movie's just a fun Hollywood thrill ride.
Jerry's consensus. Yeah, I think there are a lot of reasons to see The Call. I was surprised. There are a lot of reasons to see The Call. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of that trailer because it kind of spells out a lot of the movie for you, but I actually had a really good time. I really dug about 90% of this movie.
Reason to see number one, Halle Berry. She plays the 911 veteran operator, and you know what? She does a really good job. At the beginning of this movie, you see her make a mistake, and then a girl is killed, and in this film, you really want her to get her redemption.
Yeah.
And she does a great job at it. She sells the performance, you believe her, you believe all her emotions, and I was rooting for her the whole time.
Oh, I was too. And the thing is, the trailer makes it look cheesy, and it makes the performances all look over the top, but when you see the movie, she is committed.
Yeah.
And she does a really good job. You feel for her the whole time. You want her, you're right there in her shoes. So hats off to Halle Berry.
Storm. You did it.
You did it. Reason to see number two, Abigail Breslin.
Yeah, so Abigail Breslin, she plays the girl that's been abducted.
From the Burbank Mall.
From the Burbank Mall, yeah. It's very evident that it's the Burbank Mall.
Yeah.
And at first I thought she was kind of annoying. She seemed like a typical teenager, but you know what? You really feel for her too. You want her to get out of this situation really bad. And she sells the performance. She's very emotional throughout, and I cared for her.
Yeah, totally. And I stopped myself partway through the movie, and I thought this must have been a really traumatizing role to play.
Yeah.
Because she's in a trunk for 40 minutes,
yeah.
And she's freaking out, and twists and turns happen that are just really tense and kind of disturbing at points, and she does a killer job in this movie.
She does a better job in this movie than the trailer advertises it to be.
Everybody does.
Everybody
is better than the trailer would have you believe.
Reason to see number three, Michael Eklund. I don't want to talk too much about Michael Eklund. He plays the serial killer in this film.
Yeah.
And because you get to see him a lot throughout this movie, the trailer doesn't show him too much, so since the trailer gives away a lot already, I don't want to say too much about him. But he does a good job, he doesn't just play... He is creepy serial killer, but he doesn't play it just one note. You can feel the layers to him as you get to know the character a little bit more.
Oh yeah, he was one of the bigger surprises to me in this movie, because you don't see, like you said, you don't see much of him in the trailer, and he looks more maniacal in the trailer, and in the movie he brings a lot of dimension to it.
Yeah, there's definitely depth in his performance.
Because at times you almost feel he's fascinating. It's you almost feel sorry, and then at times he's freaky and just he gets under your skin.
And bottom line, he's the villain, and you want this guy to lose.
You want him to lose, and at the same time you sort of get him.
Yes.
But without sacrificing his intimidating qualities. It's not like you understand and then he's not scary anymore. He's still freaky.
Yeah.
Reason to see number four, Thrill Ride.
That's probably the best way to describe this movie. This movie to me is like a classic Hollywood thrill ride.
It does sort of have an almost a really good B-moviness about it.
Because it's a high concept plot.
Yeah.
And it delivers on the thrills. What are you looking for in this type of movie? You're looking for suspense. And you know what? It's not just suspenseful and thrilling. It's also a lot of fun as well.
There's some scary stuff at times.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you can tell because Brad Anderson, who did this movie, just the way they shot it, really puts you into the throttle of everything.
Yeah.
And just everything comes together to make it a really interesting, fun ride.
And the other thing too is this movie has an escalating plot.
Yeah.
And it's believable. It's surprisingly believable. It's not a bunch of stuff that's going on. I was with a crowd that was so into this movie, and it's been a while since I've been to a movie where the crowd was really like whenever it seemed like, oh, the girl might get out of the situation, the crowd was applauding at stuff that was happening 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that was the surprising thing is, again, the trailer makes everything look cheesy, and so much of this movie works because it's surprisingly plausible. Like, it feels like it could really happen. Like, they credited like 911 call center consultant, and I was like, they probably talked to that person for a long time.
And it's also an interesting world too to actually explore. You know, they call it the hive where all the 911 operators work. Yeah. And it's really interesting to explore the other end. You know, you always explore the cops, but you never get to explore the people on the line that take the calls.
Yeah.
And you get to see how intense their job actually is. Even though the trailer gives a lot away, it doesn't ruin the movie at the same time.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's weird how a trailer can have so many spoilers and pretty much lay it out beat by beat how this movie's gonna go. Yet it's still suspenseful. It still can keep you on your toes. You'll have a great time.
Reason to see number 5, cinematography.
What I liked about this film a lot with its cinematography was they switched. It was really shot close up, you know, a lot of the time, and it's cool to sort of, especially on the big screen, to see something like that. It makes it a lot more eerie because you're really exploring their emotions when you're that close up, and it makes it that much more suspenseful. The cinematography behind it, you know, had a cool look and everything.
No, yeah, it looks great, and the thing is that they switch the style up depending on where you are and what's going on.
Yeah, and you want to be smooth, and you want to be handheld, and you want to be super fucking close up in the actors' faces, because it really does capture the claustrophobia feel and the intensity of everything that's going on. Without the cinematography working so well, and, you know, kudos to the director Brad Anderson as well for, you know, working so well with the cinematographer on this film.
The cinematographic choices, you know, really do a good job of putting you in every moment.
Yeah, one tone I wasn't expecting out of this film was creepiness.
Yeah.
And they really knew how to provide creepiness when it was necessary. Alright, so we'll move on to the reasons not to see right now. Reasons not to see. The third act. If you haven't seen the trailer, if you've been fortunate enough not to see the trailer, don't watch the trailer.
Yeah,
because they tell you pretty much what's going to happen in the third act, but that is where this film's problems lie. Yeah. But I will say there's a good 2/3 of this movie that is solid.
Yeah.
And we're not going to ruin what happens in the finale, but it takes some turns. One turn, especially the final scene, is unexpected. The final scene doesn't really work for this film, but at the same time, I was so, you know, engrossed by the movie already that I didn't mind it too much, but I did see how it was very problematic.
Yeah, it was, you know, it got to a certain point, like the last 20 minutes, I was like really with it, and then they make a choice with the plot, and it was the first time during the whole movie I actually snapped out of it and went, you know, what?
Yeah, it's like, really out of place.
Yeah, and
it belongs in a different movie.
So they kind of veer off in a direction, and then there's more good stuff. It's not like the whole third act is bad by any stretch, because there's still some really effective, really cool stuff in the third act, but that's where it stops being plausible, and the problem is that after it's been so plausible and believable all this time and so well put together, then it goes into some unbelievable places that don't fit right, and then it gets a little distracting, and then yeah, like, I half want to applaud them for
trying something different.
Yeah, it's like you went a really unexpected direction for the end of this movie. But on the other hand, none of these characters would have done that.
Yeah, it didn't fit what the characters would have done, and that was the biggest problem with the ending.
It's like it kind of gives you something that a lot of people would want to do, but you wouldn't do.
Yeah. The reason why we wanted to bring it up is because a lot of critics are pointing out that they're not recommending it, and it's mainly based off the third act. But keep in mind, the third act, not all of it is bad. The crowd was still really into it at times, and there's still 2/3 before it that are solid.
Yeah, it's not enough to fully ruin the experience.
Yeah.
I mean, it does sort of tamper with it, but there's too much good in this movie to not, you know, check it out just because of that, you know?
Alright guys, so we'll do a quick recap for you of the reasons to see and the reasons not to see The Call. So reason to see number 1, Halle Berry. Reason to see number 2, Abigail Breslin. Reason to see number 3, Michael Eklund. Reason to see number 4, a thrill ride. And reason to see number 5, the cinematography.
And the reasons not to see The Call, Just one today, the third act.
And guys, thanks for watching. If you want to go ahead and tell us your reasons to see or not to see in the comment box below, go ahead and tell us. I have a sore throat today in case you can't tell. And if you want to check out my straight to the point review of The Call, go ahead and click on the link right here.
And if you'd like to see more episodes of Reasons to See, click the link right here.
And if you want to get updated every time a new video is out or a new review is out, subscribe. Subscribe in this box.
Yeah. The Box.
The Box.
That was a different movie.
Yeah, that wasn't as good. Yeah. But The Call's better than The Box.
Yeah. I think that's what I've heard.
That's what I've heard too. I haven't actually seen The Box.
I haven't actually seen The Box.
I've heard The Box is pretty horrible.
I've heard, I don't know what I've
Did anyone watch The Box?
If you watched The Box, comment below. Let us know how it was.
And compare it to The Call.
Yeah.